Hello, everybody, and welcome to second Skills for All webinar from our Skills for All series for this season. My name is Marko Valencic, and I'm happy to present today's Skills for All webinar. So, as you all might already know, we started our season in 30th of October with the first topic, which was countrywide development. And in the countrywide development, we got a great presentation from our friends from Kazakhstan talking about their strategy until 2032 and how they want to develop the sport. Now, today, we will be talking about kids' recruitment and retention programs in two of our members. And we will really focus on different ways how you can recruit kids and what is the way to retain them in your sport. So I'm really happy to move on to the first presentation of the day, which was done by Boldi Zarveg. He is a head of events, and in Hungarian Ice Hockey Federation they have several events. So not just practices, but different events, how they are recruiting the kids and how they are promoting the sport of ice hockey for all the kids. So we will see different ways of how we can do that, and maybe some of you will be already having those, and if not, then hopefully you get inspired and you get new ideas on how to recruit kids in different ways. So I'm really thankful for Baldy to taking the time, and he recorded already the video for us. And if everybody can see the screen, I will now start sharing the sound and the voice of Baldy. So please listen.
Hello, dear hockey friends from all over the world. Welcome to this Skills for All webinar. My name is Boldi Zsárvég. I'm the head of events at the Hungarian Ice Hockey Federation, and it is my pleasure to talk to you about recruitment activities here in Hungary. On this picture, you can see Városliget Ice Rink. This is the cradle of Hungarian ice hockey. Everything started here many years ago. And we will get back to this rink and its neighborhood a couple of times during my presentation. The picture is a bit dark yet, but I hope that at the end of my presentation, everything is going to be clear about what do we do regarding recruitment here in Hungary. I am an event manager, but I will talk about recruitment. So let's see how can we combine those two things together. First of all, we can talk about recruitment at events. May them be events organized for kids or events organized for women's ice hockey promotion, or those club games or international games where we can do side events or activations. But as you will see, we do not even need an ice hockey game or even ice to be able to promote our sport. Second of all, we can talk about those recruitment events where the main target is to recruit as many kids as possible. Let me start with this U8 U10 opening festival. This U8 U10 opening festival is organized at the beginning of every season. It's a weekend-long festival. On Saturday, the U10 age category is playing. We split up one rink into 3 fields of play across, and we have to use 2 rinks to accommodate all teams. We had 60 teams this autumn, and on Sunday the U8s come in. They use 1 rink, and we had 48 teams 2 months ago. We make sure that the teams face other teams that are on the same playing level, and they can play 2 or 3 games on this day. And after they have played, we welcome them at the prize giving ceremony. We give them medals and a certificate, and they can meet Chuska, our mascot, as well. I have linked some photos and videos about last 2 years' events. You can check them later. There is another really important event for those 2 age categories. It's called the Day of Hungarian Hockey. It is organized at the Városliget ice rink I mentioned earlier. You can see those kids play in the background. This event is organized since 2016. We go there really early in the morning with our volunteers, and we build up those 16 rinks. You can see most of them on this picture. And we start with the U8 competition. Then we do an ice resurface. Then the U10 tournament goes on. At the end, every player receives a medal and a certificate, and they can meet Chuska, our mascot. I have linked some photos and the video from 2024. You can check those later. And after this event finishes, we take a short break, and on the same day, we organize the Night of the Ice Rinks event. And we can say that Városliget is one of the main venues for that, but we had 48 other rinks last January, and we had over 30,000 skaters. And we have received the Recreational Sport Event of the Year prize for the 2023 event. Before we go on, you can ask yourself, okay, those are really nice events, but where is the recruitment part? And there are at least 3 answers to that. First of all, those players who play, they have younger brothers, sisters, they have classmates, they have friends, and they can influence them to come and play ice hockey. Second of all, we get great publicity, and we can promote our sport via those videos, social media sites, and so on. And third of all, we make sure that we do side activations, so even those who cannot play or cannot skate, they can try out and get familiar with our sports, how heavy a puck is, or they can shoot to a net, and so on. As we go on with off-ice events, I would like to talk about the Night of Movements event, which is an all-sports event, and we were invited, and we brought our own small field of play, let's say, and we invited some U18 and U20 national team players, and they helped us to promote our sport in a really nice environment. This is the Hero Square. This is like 200 meters from the Városliget ice rink. You can see the same inflatable field of play. In the top left corner, it's at a music festival. Our friends organized a really nice tournament over there in the summer. And in the bottom left corner, you can see the field in front of the MVM Dome. We had the Hungary-Canada game inside, and this was an activation outside. And on the right side, you can see Chuska, who is attending a big event. It's called like a sports choosing event, and it is organized in every autumn and in every spring. And you can try out over, 90 different sports over there. And we are there as well, of course, every time to promote ice hockey. So those were 4 different examples of promoting ice hockey without ice. Now I would like to talk about our recruitment specific event, actually chain of events. If you want to improve your Hungarian, gyere hokizni. Gyere means come, and hokizni means to play hockey. So we invite those kids to come and try out hockey. Let's see how. The main goal of the roadshow is to help the small and new clubs in recruitment, to show them how they can build partnership with local schools and local government, and how can they promote ice hockey in local and national media. I have brought you some numbers from the 2018-2019 season. This was the last full season before COVID kicked in. We met over 2,700 kids in 32 locations. And by experience, if you introduce ice hockey to 100 kids, only around 10% of them will show up for one training, but only 2% of them will stay in ice hockey, at least for a while. So from those 2,700 kids, we could bring 54 new kids to ice hockey. That seems to be a really huge effort, right? Below that, you can see some cities with really good attendance, over the average attendance. But at the end, you can see one city, I crossed out the name, where only one kid showed up. And the message of it is that at the end of the day, it all really depends on those local heroes who organize those days, who organize everything with the schools, with the local government, with the local media, and so on and so on. Here you can see the actual schedule for the 2024 autumn-winter season. My colleagues will visit 15 locations. The roadshow team consists of women's and men's national team players or ex-national team players, an MC, an animator, our mascot, a driver, and sometimes even a photographer. And as you can see, it becomes a really good team. On the right side, you can see Levente Super, our ex-national team goalie, helping our mascot, Chuska, with his shoes. On this slide, I wanted to show you the script of a roadshow event. So first of all, we introduce the players, and then they talk about their career, how and when did they start, what did they like, what was hard for them, what did they achieve, and so on. Then we show a short video clip about the sport and about ice hockey, and we always try to include some footage from the players who are actually present on that day. Then we do a quiz show for presents. If we have enough time, we do the dressing contest and the puck tower contest, but we always try to do the shooting on the net, or at least to play some floorball so they get the feeling. Then our mascot shows up and fools around with the kids, and then everybody can come to the table and collect some autogram cards, and we make sure that every kid gets a present at the end of the day. And where and when it is possible, we move then to the ice rink and we do an ice session with our players. Now I want to ask you, what do you think, which part is the favorite part for the kids? Yes, it is the mascot. So you can bring as many good presents as you can, or you can invite very famous ice hockey players. They all like them, but when the mascot shows up, everybody goes crazy, even the teachers. So this is one advice from us to you guys, that if you can, create your own mascot and use it wherever and whenever you can. This is the advice that we gave to our own clubs, and we helped them a little bit in that. So now more and more teams have their own mascot. And at the Hungary against Canada games, we always collect them, and they do some nice dance together, or they do some funny things together every time. But let's get back to the roadshow. One really important aspect is that the local hero or the local organizer is forced to get in touch with the local media, the newspapers, internet sites, the school's Facebook page, the club's Facebook page. So this is a part that is sometimes missing, and by bringing the roadshow there, we can help connect those stakeholders. When we were evaluating that season, we set to ourselves that we have to be even better in educating the local clubs by providing checklists and providing the know-how for them, so they are aware of the best practices and they don't repeat those small mistakes that others did before them. We also set to ourselves that we have to measure somehow the effectiveness of an event, and our solution for that was coupons and online registrations. And some clubs started to do that, but then COVID kicked in, unfortunately. And the third thing was that we have to involve the parents even more, because they are the decision makers at the end of the day. If you type in gyerehokizni.hu, you will find yourself on a web page where you can find anything about ice hockey and also the first steps if you want to try it out. And I really like the club finder part of it, where you can type in where do you live and it will show you all the clubs nearby, because it's really important at the beginning that it's really reachable and close to you. At the end of my presentation, I hope that now it is clear to you what do we do in Hungary regarding recruitment. And I wish to all of us that we reach as many kids as possible and bring them to ice hockey. And if we already have them, then let's keep them in the game. Let's make it fun for them. Let them have good coaches and a safe environment. So if we have it, then we can move to the next level.
I hope by now everybody got a hold of their sound, and thank you, Baldi, for presenting this to us and showing different ways how in Hungary you recruit kids. And as we can see, there is many different ways how to recruit kids and how to present your sport off the ice and on the ice, as well as how they build their web page for the kids and people and the parents especially to see which is the closest rink and which is the closest club for them to join ice hockey. And to go back to our kind of a timeline of the webinar, that we had introduction as well as we have a main topic, and then during this webinar we will have two presentations and two countries presenting a great solutions and ideas, what they've done and what they have and what is their future plan. So we already listened to Hungary. The next one we will have Portugal presenting us as the Hungary is one of the bigger federations with a lot of kids and a lot of ice rinks. The Portugal is one of our associate members, where they didn't have the rink. Now they have a small rink and they started with initiatives. And then from there on we will move on to the IIHF initiative. And then after that, for all the people joining us through the Zoom, we will have a discussion and then questions and answers. For everybody who is joined us on YouTube, you are more than welcome to join us still on our Zoom call and then listen and participate in that discussions and then questions and answers if you have for our presenters. So moving to our second presentation of today, I'm really happy to have with us Christina and Pedro, who will show us their journey from the smaller federation, how did they start with inline and they moved to the small rink, and hopefully they will have a full-size rink in their country soon. But really to show us how they build a journey from the grounds up and what they had to do and what they are doing in their federation. So, Christina, I've seen you here with us. Can you join your screen, please?
Let me see. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Jeez. As I'm sitting on the floor in the hallway, technical difficulties are of course kicking in.
go share and then you press the.
Well, I do the share, but
And when Christina is getting ready for the sharing screen, I just want to encourage everybody. If you have any questions, you can either write them down for yourself, or then you can write them in the chat, and you can ask them later. Or then if we have them in the chat, we will be able to ask Bold, Dizar, or Christina if they have some input to it. And if this doesn't work with your sharing, then I can share the screen as well if that would make it easier.
I think that would probably be a good idea because I'm in a bad spot for,
Yeah, not a problem at all.
I'd
Then
appreciate
I'll just,
that.
no problem.
Sorry, folks.
Yes, give me a second. I just need to press the share button. Share screen. There's some.
And here we are. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christina Lopez. I am the ice hockey coordinator for Federation of Winter Sports in Portugal. Also the M&A developer, and I also look after the ITCs and anywhere and everything else I can do. That's what I'm here to do, and I'm here to help. So if you can move on to the next one, Marco. So a little bit about our ice hockey journey in Portugal. I'm sorry for the background noise. 2017, a small community was discovered in Portugal playing ice hockey. A lot of fun we discovered them via social media. But there was already a vision for establishing ice hockey. There was already some people that really enjoyed, the thought of playing ice hockey in Portugal. A lot of them were immigrants who returned back to Portugal. Some of them were just folks that moved and were living in Portugal, and they had brought the love for the sport with them. So our first steps towards formalization, which was in 2018, came across FDI Portugal, Federation of Winter Sports of Portugal, and we joined the IIHF as an associate member. We kept going on with regular structured inline practices, where, we had no ice whatsoever in Portugal during the summertime. And where we did have ice, it was a small ice rink in a shopping mall in a food court where they will not allow us to play ice hockey there due to the fact that's in a food court, and they just want it basically for pleasure skating or figure skating. So we started holding temporary practices during the Christmas season in the small pop-up ice rinks that we see across the country, just basically going on a road show with a coach and a number of players going to demonstrate and play, so we can get some attention from, whoever might be at the rink watching. And here's just a little shot of how we started off with some of the guys in inline. So major milestone in December 2021, Federation was able to open up and get permission to do so up in a mountain here. We opened up 400 square meter ice rink, and where the area is called Serra da Estrela or Penha Saúde, and the ice rink is Serra da Estrela Ice Rink. So that was a huge deal for Portugal, as we finally had some place that we could practice or share the love for the sport and get people involved, as opposed to just doing it on the pop-up rinks around the Christmas season. This is a very good location. It was built right next door to a hostel. So whenever we have tournaments or schools come and play, we have a partnership with them, which is also operated by the Federation. So there's a partnership in there to give discounted rates to whoever wants to stay there during tournaments, during Easter camps or Christmas camps. and so on. It's very convenient. Like I said, you can basically just about get dressed in your room and then walk next door to the ice rink. There's an example of some of our little guys that come out. And some more, as you can see, we're growing in numbers. So the keystones, some of the keystones we've established right from the get-go, we were able to establish a youth academy at the ice rink for little kids to hold regular practices. So at the moment, we have 3 practices for them on a weekly basis. It's a small group due to the location and the fact that we're, in the middle of a mountain, but it is what it is, and it's way better, and we're grateful that we have it. We recently hired a marketing specialist for social media and promoting all of our activities. We also have billboards across the city promoting the rink and making it known to the public, not just the ones in the city, but the ones that drive through the city, as the locations where the billboards are is right next to a roadway, or both next to roadways that are very, very busy as far as vehicles passing in and out of the city. We have a school outreach program. So basically go to the schools and show them, obviously using ball hockey and, just running shoes and wooden sticks, what hockey is all about, and then integrate them to coming up to this with the schools on a bus up to the mountain and getting them on the ice rink. So yeah, we also continue to go and demonstrate what the sport's all about across the country to the pop-up Christmas rinks that we have around the country. And one of the things that we have is a podcast on social media. A podcast on YouTube, where on a monthly basis we have updates where we talk about what has happened throughout the month for the sport, for the teams, for the clubs. Even players are interviewed, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get people out there. Yeah, as you can see, the federation's always promoting the sports, not just the federation, but the clubs do it as well, and the kids on their own do it as well, and the seniors. We're on, Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. And there's pictures of the billboards. We have flyers that we hand out as well to get everybody into the ice rink, including the schools and malls and restaurants. We just drop them all off at the place so that they can be shared. And we do notice that it works because they're entitled to a discount when you come to the ice rink and you present the flyers. So we do get quite a few of them that are returned back to us, and we're grateful for that. And once they're on the ice rink and they're learning how to skate, obviously we bring out the hockey sticks and a puck and the small nets. Some of the development programs that we're working on and we have in place right now, we do have a cross-border league. We have a team that's playing in Spain, and it's basically to enhance the sport and to have other young players that are playing in Portugal want to look up to them and have the idea and the mindset in their heads that if I keep practicing, if I try hard, if I learn, I too will be able to join that league one day. And we're happy to announce, and we're really happy that with our academy that we have up here on the small rink, we've got 3 players that are now part of this HC Porto team that plays in the top division in Spain. We also have the men's national team. It's not playing, obviously, in any world championships, but we are competing in the development cup that IIHF holds for us. And happy to announce it wasn't gold, but we did win silver now for the 2nd time. The last one here was in April 2024. And one more reason to have the kids, try to inspire them and let them know if you keep practicing, there is something that you could move on to. And it seems to be working. So the coach education programs, we're working on it. Learn to play is what we are doing these days in order to get the kids out on the rink. It's more of a learn to skate / learn to play. So you can have a lot of kids that come out when we announce that there's a learn to play and they don't know how to skate yet. Well, within 20 minutes or so, they're feeling comfortable. We teach them how to fall. We teach them how to get up and how to have fun on the ice. Just play with them, throw out some balloons or some soccer balls, And, within 45 minutes, they've got sticks in their hands and they're having a ball, they're enjoying, and they do come back. And there's also, we give them candy and we give them balloons and we give them little souvenirs to take home. What else can a kid ask for? But it seems to be really fun. We've held the second year of girls ice hockey weekends. This is an idea of the food court that I was talking about, the small rink in a shopping mall. We've done this in October and our rink was only opened in November. We had, much better, greater turnout than last year. I think we had 7 or 10 last year, if I don't quote me on that. But this year we had a much better turnout, and we're happy to announce that some of those girls have now already registered themselves with the federation and are coming to regular practices and are going to be playing in our league, which commences on December 14th. Oh, speaking of the league, and here are some examples of the flyers that we put around town and we share on social media, just to let people know that it's not just coming to practices. We do have a trophy at the end of the season that you will be playing towards, and a little medal or participation for the little ones. And it's once again something for them to look forward to, and for them to want to achieve, to get better, so that they can participate in the league. So what's up ahead for Portugal? We just started, like I said, so it's baby steps, and each step that we take forward is a step towards reaching our goals. So we're working on is coaching and official certification for this year. We're going to be working with our neighbors from Spain who are going to be assisting us and putting that into place. We still don't have an official sized ice rink in Portugal as of this moment. We are hoping that will happen soon. And like I said, our friends across the border from the Spanish Federation and the IIHF, great resources, great tools to assist. And that's where we're leaning on. We're leaning on their guidance and their assistance to help us get that through and get our guys certified. Olympic-sized rinks should be opening up in April, but again, this was to happen last year. It hasn't happened yet, so please don't quote me on that. We just hope that it will be. Recently, we just signed a land transfer agreement with a municipality in Seychelles, which is in Lisbon. With the we're looking forward to 2027. Hopefully, it'll be a brand new ice rink from ground up, as opposed to the one in Jaffa. The one in Jaffa is just a warehouse that's being refurbished. So we're really, really very excited about this one in Lisbon. Of course, there's the one in Jaffa as well, but really, really looking forward to being able to skate in one of those rinks in the short future. Once we have the proper infrastructures, we have a feeling, we know when we are going to do our best that we can do in order to increase all our numbers, and we'll be performing a lot more recruitment and retention programs. And we're sure it'll be easier than it is now with only one small ice rink in the whole country. So right now we have a total of 4 clubs, federated clubs, with about 98 registered players under our federation. We have 33 players that are under the age of 20. And last year we had 67 players under the federation by this time. So it's nice to see that the numbers are growing. We must be doing something right. Obviously, we're not in the 400s, 800s, or 1000s, but we will get there one day. We will take the steps to get there one day. We like our little values, just to end it up: respect, integrity, inclusion, professionalism, and excellence, or RIPE. So our values are RIPE, and so are we. We're ready to go. Thank you all for listening and watching. And, it's not as grand as everybody else that's coming along, that's been doing what they're doing for the past 10 years or 5 years, but it is what it is. And again, we're doing all we can, and we know we're doing the best that we can, but there's still hope for better, and we'll get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, for sharing the experience, and it's been really great pleasure to see how the numbers are growing. And I think, like you said, that every step forward is a step for reaching the goal. And this is for us as well great to see that different size federations are doing things to get better and to get bigger and to improve, and really for sharing your story and sharing what you do with the federation as well.
Thank you.
And
Sure, if Pedro has anything he wants to add, if he's on, is he on? Pedro,
Yes, I'm here.
do you have anything you'd like to add on?
No,
to-
I think the presentation was a summary of all the things that we have done and all the things that we want to do in the future. I think we start slowly. We start with the baby steps, like Christina said, but it's really well, it's difficult because we are a sun country, we are a soccer country, a football country, and it's difficult to bring more to different sports, but we are doing it slowly. We are doing it with the support of a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, mainly Christine and Jim, and also our friends from Spain that are really helping us a lot. And this participation, this cross-border league that we create, the Iberian League, it's really important for the kids that starts to see that they can be a part of something. We are also trying to do some work with the journalists, with the television, and we are preparing something that hopefully in January or February we have something to show with the biggest Portuguese television, to show how we are developing the ice sports, in this case, not only the ice and sport and ice and snow sports in Portugal, but it's very focused in the ice hockey. And we will for sure can show what we have done, what we want to do, and it's important to do that because we will have a lot of people watching us, and for sure we will increase the number of players. And well, the main idea, as Christina said, we build a small ice ring in the mountain, but now if everything goes as planned, in the next 2 to 3 years we will have 2 ice rings, one in the north of the country, another one in the south of the country, so both in very populated areas, very near the 2 main airports in Portugal. And it will be also very good for increasing the number of international games, international tournaments, international competitions that we can hold in Portugal, if IHF will trust us to do this. Also, I want to say something more about the ice ring in the mountain. It's important that we can develop in this ice ring the 3x3, and it will be for sure a sport that will grow a lot in the world, around the world, mainly in nations like Portugal. And we are available to organize here with other nations, with other developing nations, to organize here camps on 3x3. So I say this year because I think a lot of nations are here, developing nations, and we are able to organize it here. It's a 28x14, the ice rink, and it's, well, it is very near. It is near a hostel. It is walking, well, not walking distance, it's wall by wall of a hostel, so we can organize all the sleeping and food and all there, and the kids to practice on the ice rink.
Thank you, Pedro, for sharing the future thoughts that you have for the rinks as well as the program in Portugal.
Thank you.
It's great to see what you are doing, as said, and then that's why we wanted to show 2 different examples of how do you recruit kids. and how do you retain them once you recruit them. And I think this is great what you said as well, that there are populated areas where you are trying to build a ring so you get more kids and more involvement, and really great that I didn't even know about this TV what you try to do, so that will be really interesting to see it as well what you're trying to do. So like said, I already see there's a couple questions in the comment section or in our chat. So we will move on as well, that we will move to those questions back after we have all the presentations, and then we will have the discussions about them. So what I want you to show next is what already the Senior Vice President Peter Briza and the Development Director Kale Vallejo were talking about in our last Skills4All webinar, was the Growing the Game Fund. And now we have a little bit more information, and what I want to show you is different examples of the programs that you can apply depending on the federation where it's based in. So last time we talked about the overall picture of the new IIHF Growing the Game Fund and how it started or how it got created and how we want to process with this. So now I want to share the timeline with you. So the timeline goes that we will open it during the December. So in next week or two, we will open the application after the council approves all of these proposals that we had. And then the applications will be until the end of January. And during that application period, all the federations will be able to contact us in the office to help and guide you through the process, as well to help you to decide what would be the valuable programs for you to have and for you to do. And then after the application period ends, we will review all the applications, and then there will be a evaluation committee who will be then evaluating all the projects. And once that's done, it will be presented to the development committee as well as the top mentorship committee with the recommendations. And all of those recommendations later on will be reviewed by the council, who has the final approval of the projects. And then after the post-approval, we will sign the MOUs with the countries to run the programs. So this is kind of the overall timeline for the applications, but the main idea is that we really want to target the needs of the federations and what would be the next steps forward for all the federations related to development. So this was a little bit discussed already last time with what Carl explained. Is this we divided in 4 different groups based on the world ranking, because that's the only official way at the moment how we can divide. So the first ones are the other M&As, the ones who are not participating in the World Championships. And for them, minimum development standard before reaching the minimum participation standards would be that you have developed a strategy and a long-term plan, and then that you implement the recruitment program within your country. And then you would have one minimum participation standard program requirement, as well as available ice in the country. So we think about the Portugal that was presenting to us at the moment. So we've seen their development plan and the strategy, as well as they showed us the recruitment program, and they are now trying to have the officiating education as well as the coaching education, and then they have some ice available. But even before they meet these minimum development standards, all the members who don't meet the minimum participation standards, you are able to apply for the funding for competence and education programs, as well as organizational infrastructure. And these are some of the programs that we found that would be useful for you, that you could apply for, such as Learn to Play programs, coaching, officiating, recruitment, official women's program, equipment manager, team leader, administrative, goalkeeper program. So those are all the programs that are requested for the minimum participation standards. And then in addition, you could apply to build actually the strategy and the long-term plan, or to create these governance policies and procedures. And then once you meet the development standard, even before you meet the minimum participation standard, you can apply for other programs as well, which are related to sports and on-ice activities, as well as the organization and infrastructure. From sports and on-ice activities, we propose as an example of the programs, they would be linked to the minimum participation standards, but they could be joint camps with the neighboring countries, as well as coach education program or official education program or any other exchange programs that you could have, as well as some office funding for different ways of how you recruit kids. Could it be the ball hockey, street hockey, inline, or any other training activities? So this is for the other members which are not participating in the which are not participating in the world ranking as well. And then moving to the countries that are reaching the MPS and they are up to 33rd place in our world ranking. This would be the minimum development standards requirement. So the bolded ones are added. So you need to meet all the minimum participation standards, as well as you will need to have a activity calendar from your federation, dedicated person for development, dedicated person for female programs, and dedicated person for learn to play programs. It could be a same person for few of those programs as well. And you need to have a 3-level coach education as well as 3-level officiating education with the dedicated people. Then there would be a national team, so you would need to have 2+1 national teams participating in the world championships. So it's either 2 men, 1 woman, or 2 women, 1 man. And then you would have at least one person hired as a half-time staff to meet the minimum development standards. But even before you meet those minimum development standards, you can actually apply for all these projects here. So those are the projects for the groups 33 and lower. And these are examples of the projects related to competence education, sports and on-ice activities, or organizational infrastructure. And as Kale mentioned the last time is already, that it's not that you can apply only for one, you can apply for several projects, but then you need to base them on the importance of your federation, which would be the ones that you feel are the most important, and then which you feel that are not as important. So these are examples of the projects that you could apply for. And like I said, you can, once this will be published, you can share them. You can ask us for assistance as well from the office. And then once you meet those development standards for this group, as previously shown, you can then apply from the right side additional programs as well. And those ones are either you can apply for the alone, or you can apply with 2 countries, which would give you additional money. So you can apply alone for up to 20,000 Swiss francs, or then with 2 or more countries, which would have up to 50,000 Swiss francs. And then in this one, there is additional application that you can apply for up to 50,000 Swiss francs for the infrastructure. And that's once in the term, per term. So in that up to 50,000, we would assist you to buy or have any infrastructure costs what you have, that we would assist as the IHF related to that. So that wouldn't be that you can apply for that every year, but it would be once per term that you have that. And then moving to the countries which are 17 to 32 world ranked. Their development standard adds to have a person dedicated for the national teams, to have all these 3-level educations run by their MNA. So before it would have been run by somebody else, and now it needs to be run by their MNA. They need to have 1 full-time person and 1 half-time person. And as Christina already said, she's a MNA developer program graduate. So we want to have at least 1 person who graduated from the MNA developer program that is run by the IIHF. And before you meet those minimum development standards for this category, you can apply again to all these different programs and different examples of the programs that are available for you for your country. So that it needs to be, they are applied from, the applications are going from the federations. And there could be all the different activities, as well as recruitment activities, promotional campaigns, marketing campaigns, equipment support. So the proposal for the council that needs to approve is that all this, all the programs would be subsidized 75% by the IIHF, or on top of the subsidy from the IIHF, the federation needs to put additional at least 25% of their own funds. So it's up to 10,000, for example, and then federation needs to top up with additional at least 2,500 Swiss francs. And with the equipment support that you can apply for, the federation needs to cover the costs of customs, if there is any cost of the customs. So that's a little bit different. All others, there needs to be up to at least 25% top up by the federation. And then once you meet the minimum development standards, then you can open kind of another box, which are giving you additional opportunities for the funding. And in this category, additional special opportunity for the funding. Nope, sorry, this is it would be a different way. And then program examples for the 1 to 16 countries would be that with the minimum development standards, you would have the national team player pathway, as well the integrity program and integrity officer in the country, and then multi-level coaching and officiating education, so more than 3 levels. And then you would have all 5 national teams participating in the World Championship, as well as the willingness to help and mentor, assist other M&As. So kind of giving it to the others. So before meeting all of these development standards for the countries ranked 1 to 16, there's different programs that they can apply as well. And once meeting those development standards, they can apply for additional fundings as well, which would be based on the competence and education or then on ice activities. And there is a possibility for the third parties to apply for initiatives such as these new initiatives, as well as this support, research support, and they can apply, but they need to support it by their M&A. So if a third party from, let's say we had Hungary now, so third party from Hungary applies for the funding, the Hungarian Federation needs to support them in their application. So these are just some examples of the projects that you can apply for, and then excuse me, the countries will receive all the information after the approval from the council, and then once you get that information, you'll be able to reach us out, and we can assist you to see, first of all, which group you are in based on the world ranking, and then to see if you are meeting the development standard from your group or not, and then what would be the good projects to apply, and what would be the valuable for you to apply, and how to apply, which we will for sure help you out. And then talking a little bit about the evaluation. So there is different evaluations criteria that we'll take into consideration. There is first 5 points are talking about the previous, what was done previous with the IIHF. So respect to the deadline of previous projects, completion of the previous projects, as well as the quality of them, and then accountability and the financial responsibility of the previous projects. So we are looking what was done before, and that will be all part of the evaluation of the future projects, as well as the impact of that previous projects on the development in country, and then the participation in IIHF initiatives, the World Girls Ice Hockey Weekend, the Global Girls Game, and integrity programs from the IIHF. So if the countries were not part of, if the countries had issues or were not part of those, they will have the kind of, in easy terms to say, like a minus points when they are applying. And then when we are looking at the applications, we will evaluate based on the clarity, the relevance, strategic alignment, and the feasibility of the projects, of their goals and the measurements. And then some of the, and how they align with the IIHF objectives as well as the M&A objectives. So how well the projects aligns with our mission, with our strategy, and the growth of the game globally, as well as the M&A's long-term development strategy. So, for example, addressing the critical development needs in undeveloped areas in the region or in the M&A that are lacking resources or infrastructure. How focusing, and are you focusing, if you, for example, don't reach the development standard, are the projects focusing on reaching those? And if you already reach the development standards, what are the projects focusing, or maybe to reach the development standard of the higher group? So these are some of the criteria that we will look for with the evaluation committee, what we will have. I know there is a lot of information for you now at this point, and you really need to get down, but you will have time. Like I said, the timeline for this, the application ends in the 31st of January 25. And before that, us from the office will be more than happy to assist you, and we encourage you to book time. Once you get the links for booking the times, book the time, and we will assist you and help you with what you can apply and how the application can go, so you have the most chance to actually receive the money and receive the funding to make your federation and country better. And we will give you the time slots during the mid-December, so between 15th and Christmas time, as well as then the mid-January. So not right on the end of the application period, but sometime in between 5th and 15th of January. So this will be sent to you right after you receive all the information related to the IIHF Growing the Game Fund that we made. And then, of course, we'll help you as well with if you are asking for the funding that you need to meet the MDS, so the development standards, then we'll assist you to see if you actually have met those, or are you at the moment not eligible to apply for those. So like I said, there is a lot of information, and we really want to target the fundings and target the development based on your needs, based on the need of every M&A. And we are really happy to assist you and eager to assist you, and we really want you to, if you need help, we encourage you to ask for it, that we can assist you until the timeline. After the timeline is done for the application, the deadline, then we are ready to give all the material to the evaluation committee. So to finish up our today's Skills4All webinar for all YouTube listeners, and for the recording that we are having, for the next December meeting, what we will have in 18th of December, which is in 3 weeks actually, we will present the Learn to Play programs. We will present 2 Learn to Play programs, one from the Thailand Ice Hockey Federation and another one from Netherlands Ice Hockey Federation. So both of them will present their programs and seminars what they run for the coaches, as well as the programs what they have year-long, as well as we will present the IIHF instructor program seminar what we had in North America, South America, and Oceania. And with this one, we actually concluded all continents through the world with having education for Learn to Play instructors, and we'll present what is the plan to move forward with the Learn to Play from the IIHF perspective point of view. So we are excited for all of you to join the next webinar. And if you want to see any previous webinars what were done in last 3 seasons or this season, you can scan this QR code, or you can find all the recordings on our webinar webpage. And you can go back. There is all the presentations, so all the presentations are there, as well as all the video recordings from those presentations or from those webinars. So for our YouTube listeners, I'm really happy that you all joined. If you still want to join for the discussion and the questions and answers, please quickly move to the Zoom link, and you can find the Zoom link on our website. And here again is my email, which I'll be changing shortly to the official IIHF email as well. But since already now you can send me the email if you want to receive the direct email related to the webinars. if you don't receive them yet. And I want to thank all our YouTube listeners for joining us. And with this, we will stop the YouTube stream and we will just continue on the Zoom for additional discussions what we have with all the Zoom listeners.